So I'm sure everyone has gone through an experience where they don't really understand why they need to take a certain step. They don't understand why they need to give something up. They don't understand, what's going to come out of, taking a risk or leaving the known for the unknown, right? Like, what's going to come from this act of obedience? What's going to come next after I give up something that I was so sure about, right? The one thing that a lot of people can probably relate to is giving up a dream, or feeling like your dreams are shattered, which is probably one of the worst feelings in the entire world. If that's ever happened to you, you understand what I'm talking about, right? When you work so hard towards something day in, day out, blood, sweat, and tears, and you had it like, there's nothing else I'm gonna do, this is it, like, dude, just like back against the wall, you know what I mean? Sorry guys, I'm outside in my car. So if you have ever gone through that, I'm just here to tell you that it is okay. And if you're in that season of where you did take that step and you're just in that limbo season of like, I don't know what the heck is next, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing right now, I don't know who I'm supposed to go to, I feel like I'm wasting away, I feel like I'm wasting time, blah, 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 right? All of those things. I just want to talk on that topic today because I actually went through that 6 months ago. And just to kind of give a little bit of a background story. So as most of you kind of know, I've been in business for about 2 years, and I developed amazing relationships with people that I never thought that I would ever even meet, right? People that I thought that I would never even separate from, first of all. So there was a time on my journey in business entrepreneurship where I was just so locked in, nothing else mattered to me. Like, I just, all of my attention 100% was on my business. I forgot about everything else in my life, and it was really unhealthy, and I don't regret it at all, because I wouldn't be who I am today without that experience, without that self-development, without the people that I've met, without the experiences I went through, so on and so forth, right? So don't regret it at all. But there was a point where I knew that someone was after me or something, and in my belief, it was God, right? Whoever you believe in. I'm not here to talk about beliefs or anything like that, but just to tell my story and to get that point across, I knew that God was telling me to give up my business, to leave what was familiar to me for those 2 years, to just focus solely on Him, right? But when it came down to actually doing it, it took me so long to actually do it, right? And the reason being is because I had all those same questions, all those same doubts, like, why would I let this go? This is going to give me everything that I've ever wanted in my life. This is going to provide for my family. There's nothing else I'd ever want to do. I don't want to meet anybody else. I don't want to go anywhere else. Like, this is my path. This is it. Like, locked in, cemented in my mind. I would never give it up. One day I was driving in my car, and I literally, like, I don't know how to explain the voice of God, right? But I heard Him audibly tell me to let go of my business. And this is what He said. Give me 1 second. There's a dumpster truck right here. He said, because I was arguing with God, right? Don't ever argue with God, by the way. You will never win. I was like, haven't you seen, like, everything that I went through, everything that I gave up, all the people that, just, I don't remember, but, I was going at it with Him. I was wrestling with Him, and then all of a sudden He shut me up, and He was like, all right, so if you would give it up for, like, a business, if you would give all those things up for a business, are you willing to give it all up for me? And man, like, in that moment, you guys, I was bawling, right? Like, when I was crying, when I was arguing with Him back and forth and whatnot. But in that moment, when I heard that small, still voice, I shut up, like, instantly. Like, there was no more tears coming out of my face, because He has such a way of coming at you that's very gentle but very straightforward, and only in a way that He can do it, which is so crazy. So I did that, and it was really hard, you guys, because you cannot explain that experience to people. They're gonna think you're crazy, but I still did, because you guys, like, I can't deny my experiences. I can't deny what I go through. You can't deny your experiences. You can't deny what you hear, what you know in your spirit, like what you truly know, right? And I think that's the thing that people struggle with the most, is like the fear of man, being so afraid of what this person or that person's gonna think if I do this or take this path. But what about this situation? What about the promises I made to this person? And there's a lot of things that go into it, and I get it because I remember I was like, oh my gosh, no way. Like, I made commitments. Like, what am I gonna tell them? Oh yeah, like, I'm leaving, my commitment for God. And yeah, I did. Why? Because that is what was happening. And I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. I'm not here to lie to anybody. I'm not here to make, everyone happy. I can't do that, even if I wanted to. I wish I could make everyone happy, you know what I mean? That would be awesome, but I can't. So I'm gonna tell them the truth of what's going on. And these are people that I built relationships with, business relationships with, for 2 years, and we were really close, man. These people were like brothers and sisters to me, and I'm still friends with some of them right now. But telling them that was literally like breaking up with someone. It was so hard. I've never experienced a grief like that in my life, right? And I know that there's a lot of people that have gone through that, where they don't understand, or maybe you're in that season right now again where you need to make that decision but you're scared. And it's okay, be scared, but also be brave, right? Like, feel that feeling, accept it. You're aware that, okay, I'm scared, but I'm also bold and I'm brave, right? And take that step. Guys, there's never been one time where I've stepped into the unknown and have regretted it, ever. Never ever have I ever regretted stepping into the unknown. Is the best thing ever. So do it, I encourage you to do it. And I just wanted to talk about this book that I was led to in that season in my life. And this just ended. My 6th month was today. And what I mean by that is I remember when I had gave it up, I had asked God, like, well, how long? Like, what am I supposed to be doing? How long is this going to last? And he told me 6 months. And did I deny it that whole time, within the 6 months? Did I doubt? Of course, because, I started to rebel a little bit. I didn't know what to do. I started to go back to my old ways just a little bit. I didn't make the best decisions in the beginning, but it's okay. Like, forgive yourself. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. So, the point here is, like, when you give something up that you need to give up for your own well-being, or in my case, like when God's told me to give something up and no one else understood, when you do that on faith, you're going to get something back, and it's going to be better. And it's not going to be in a sense of like, oh, I'm better than you in this way, or oh, this is better than your thing over here. It's not like that. It's better for you, for your personality, whatever is altered to you. He knows you better than, he knew me better than I knew me, right? So whatever your situation is, I'm not trying to make this like a preach or anything like that. I'm just trying to tell my story. So just bear with me here. So I'm going to talk about this book, because this is the book I was led to during that 6-month season. It says, what happens when women walk in faith? Because, you guys, I needed answers. I still needed, like, oh my gosh, I still need to keep myself like, this is good. I'm doing the right thing. Everything's going to be good. And it has been good. And I'll get to the end of it on why my 6 months has ended and why I'm making this video right now and why it all makes sense, right? So, the death of a dream. That is a passage I'm kind of going to go through really quickly. The death of a dream. The worst thing ever, right? And if you don't believe, like, in the Bible or anything, that's fine. Kind of just take these as an example. I'm just using them to show you that you're not alone. And I've gone through it as well. So, there was a time when, God told Abraham to take your son. I'm just going to read it. It says, take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains I will tell you about. So to bring that back into like our perspective, how many times have you felt like you needed to give up that job, give up that relationship, right? Give up that business, in my case, give up something, someone, even though you love it, right? Because he said here, take your son. First of all, like, my son, you want me to take my son and burn him? You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. So he said, take your son whom you love. So did I love my business? Did I love the people in my business? Yes, I did, very much, right? So it's not something that we're supposed to understand at the moment. The whole point of doing things in faith is to build your faith, right? It's crazy how action always ends up being like the number one factor in everything. So another sentence right here, the girl said, I fully believe that God had Abraham walk through this shocking test of obedience to see which came first. And this is the big thing right here. His dream or his God. And again, I'm not here to preach to you, but this is my story. This is what I had to go through. I made that thing in my life, I made it everything. It was my God, right? It was too much. It was too much of it. Too much of something is just too much. And guys, I was unhealthy. Like, there's some people who didn't really notice, but I knew in my heart that there were things that were wrong, you know? So that was the test for me. Was I gonna give up my dream for my God, for what I believed in, for who I believed in? And I did, right? And I don't regret it at all. But again, alter this to your situation. I'm just kind of trying to prove a point here, but this is the best way I can relate it to. So, and it says, we are tempted to give a quick answer and move past this uncomfortable question without giving it the thought it deserves. This is serious business to God, right, is what she's saying here. And then it kind of goes on to say at the end, I'm sure though his feet walked obediently, his heart ached for reassurance. And guys, that is so true. Let me tell you something. I never have experienced like a death in my life. I don't know like what it feels like to really grieve. But that feeling when I had to let go of something that was an idol in my life, that's a key word there. If you're in like idolatry, or you have like an idol in your life, that thing is gonna get snatched from you. Let me tell you, you hold on to something so tight, it's gonna get snatched. So I had to guys, I had to reevaluate everything. Here comes a dumpster truck again. I'm so sorry. 1 second. Oh my God, I forgot what I was gonna say. Dang it, trash can guy. But oh my God, it smells so bad. Anyways, my point here is like, just do it. Like, I know it's not that simple, you know, it sounds simple and it's really not. Oh, okay, I know where I was at, the grieving part. When I did it, it was the worst feeling that I've ever experienced in my life. Like, I've never experienced grief like that, you guys. I let something go that meant so much to me. And I didn't know it was gonna happen anymore. So I was in the same exact spot in my car when I did it, and it hurt so bad. Like, the pain hurt so bad in my heart that I would literally feel like I didn't know what to do. Like, I would just grab myself and I would hug myself, and I would be like crazy grieving, sobbing. I've never cried like that till this day in my life. And that is a danger of holding on to something so tight. That is a danger of putting, you know, your dream before something greater or bigger than you, you know. Doesn't mean you can't have a dream. It's just like you need to have balance in that the priority of what's really truly important in our lives, you know. And spirituality is honestly a big part of that. So I can't leave that out, you know. I'm not gonna leave anything out that I have gone through or believe in. So it's wild, you guys. I just feel like this journey has been so crazy. I know I kind of popped out again out of nowhere on social media and things like that, but I'm just really enjoying that I get to come on here and share my story with you guys. not for the fulfillment of me sharing my story. It's for the fulfillment of seeing you guys message me and be like, oh my gosh, I needed to hear this, or oh my gosh, this helped me so much, or oh my god, like, you know, I'm so proud of you. Just little things like that, and people asking me questions, or I know that it's giving people hope. Even the people who like troll, right, and don't say anything to me, I know that they're seeing it. It's that seed that matters to me. Why? Because there was a seed that was planted into me years ago that I had no idea was going to sprout the way it sprouted today. And I know that there's people in my life who know me closely, who physically see that, and they've been through that journey with me. They've seen it firsthand. They're experiencing it with me, and you know, they're always like, you go through some crazy stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I know, but you know what? It's making sense as I get older. I had to go through a lot of things at a young age, and I just really believe it was destined for a time like this, for me to speak on a video like this, because I know Nicole, right? Nicole Edge, she had posted something on Instagram talking about like, you know, I have to, I think she was going to compete somewhere, right? But now she can't because it's closed, like the coronavirus and just all of these things going on. So now she is she's kind of like in this limbo season, right? Just like I was. And that also inspired me to do this video. I kind of get hints as to when I need to take action on something, so that was my hint, right? And I just really want her to be able to understand that everything's going to be okay, and I know exactly how she feels right now, and I know exactly how everyone else feels right now who is in that same state, right? So just be confident that everything will be okay, right? The thing always leads to the thing. You're always going to end up where you need to be. You're always going to end up with who you need to be with, right? But with that also comes a level of belief. Like with me, yes, I cried because I didn't know what was next, you guys. Like those 6 months from whenever it was to now, crazy. Like I was going crazy. I just didn't know what to do with myself because I wasn't building anything anymore. I didn't feel like I was progressing, and that makes me go crazy. So, but you know, the happy ending now is that God is faithful, and because I, you know, stepped out on faith, he gave something back to me that is similar to the last business that I was in. He literally just like handed it to me. And yeah, you know, I kind of took initiative, but it's not a coincidence to me at all, because he told me 6 months, and it was 6 months. You know, now we're back. We're back in business, doing the growth, doing the self-development, you know, helping people out and becoming the best versions of ourselves. And it's just crazy. It's crazy. So I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful that I get to do this for you guys. You know, I really appreciate the people who actually do take the time to watch these videos, not for me, but for themselves, you know, for them to get something out of it, because, you know, I don't get anything out of this besides enjoying the fact that you guys are getting something out of it, right? That's what's fulfilling to me, is being able to serve people and love them and show them like, dude, you're gonna be good, right? So I love you guys, and let me know if anyone is going through this, because it's never a coincidence to me when I make a video at a certain time. All right, so love you guys so much. Talk soon.